The Gospel passage for this Sunday comes from Matthew 22:34 to 40. It's one of the three controversies in Matthew chapter 22. One is about whether to pay the taxes or not. Second is about the resurrection. And third is about which is the greatest commandment. This Sunday we'll be dealing with the question asked by the expert in law to Jesus, which is the greatest commandment? Everything we do in our faith hinges on love. We encounter a profound conversation between Jesus and an expert in the law. The dialogue not only reveals the greatest commandments, but also invites us to explore the deeper wisdom found within the gospel. To help us to understand these truths, let's begin with some parallels from other gospel passages, and we dive into the wisdom story to illustrate the message. What are the parallels we find in the gospel? In the Gospel of John, Jesus offers a new commandment in John chapter 13, 34, 35. A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. Here, Jesus emphasizes the centrality of love in identifying his followers. In the Synoptic Gospel of Luke, we encounter the story of the Good Samaritan in Luke chapter 10, 25 to 37. This parallel illustrates the essence of loving one's neighbor. The Samaritan's compassion and care for the wounded man demonstrate how love transcends societal and religious boundaries. In the wake of the war between Russia and Ukraine, Israel and the Gaza Strip, we can ask the question, who is the Good Samaritan? Who cares for the wounded? Who care for the simple people who are under the rubble of the big buildings bombed? The people who are taken as hostages. People who are driven by the policies and don't give place for humanity. Who is the Good Samaritan? Love is the key to understand Jesus' teaching. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived an elderly monk known for his wisdom. People from far and wide sought his counsel. One day, a young scholar approached him with a question, Master, what are the key to understanding the wisdom in the teachings of Jesus? This man smiled and invited the young scholar to follow him. They walked to a nearby field where a group of children were playing. The scholar observed their laughter, their kindness to one another, and purity of their hearts. The wise man turned to the scholar and said, the essence of Jesus' wisdom can be found in the hearts of these children. Love is the key to understanding his teachings. Just as these children show genuine love to one another, Jesus calls us to love God with all our hearts and to love our neighbors as ourselves. As we reflect the gospel passage and compare with the synoptics and this wisdom story, so remember that Jesus' message is not a complex set of rules, but a call to love. Love for God and love for one another lie at the heart of our faith. Just as the Good Samaritan went beyond societal boundaries to help a stranger, and the children in the wisdom story showed pure and unselfish love, we too are called to embody these values in our lives. In daily interactions, we have the opportunity to demonstrate love, compassion, and kindness following the example of Christ. May we take these lessons to heart, understanding that love is the path to discipleship. And through our love for one another, we bear witness to the teachings of Jesus. After the Sunday Mass, Sunday liturgy, as you leave the church, the place of worship, let's be inspired to love not only in words, but in action, showing the world that we are indeed His disciples. In the words of Jesus from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22:40, on these two commandments depends all the law and the prophets. Everything we do in our faith hinges on love. Love for God and love for one another. May the grace of God empower our lives to live out this life in our lives. John 13:34, a new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you.